Good day, everyone. I am Kimberly Gineston from the Philippines, and today I will be discussing the mitigation of greenhouse gas emission in rice cultivation. The relevance and contribution of rice. Rice is a staple food for nearly half of the world's population, and it is the most important crop cultivated in the Philippines. It serves as both a vital food source and a major source of livelihood to more than 2 million households engaged in rice farming. The major constraints in rice cultivation is the continuous flooding practice in rice cultivation. It contributes to greenhouse gas emission, especially methane and nitrous oxide from the flooded rice fields. The constraints is some farmers resist switching to alternate wetting and dry because of water management risk and labor needs. The diagram compares the two common conditions in rice farming, the well-drained fields and the flooded fields. In well-drained fields, there is a very little methane is produced because of the oxygen prevents microbe create methane from working. While on the flooded rice fields, the water blocks oxygen from the soil, and without oxygen, the microbe that produce methane become active. Then the methane escape into the air, either way as bubbles or through the rice plants, and this is how continuous flooding practice contributes greenhouse gas emission. The second major constraint in rice cultivation is on high dependence on nitrogen fertilizer. Excessive use of urea and other N fertilizers releases nitrous oxide. The excess nitrogen from fertilizer is a dangerous pollutant that poison our water bodies and harm our ecosystem. The constraints is some farmers' lack of awareness regarding for optimal fertilizer management. So how fertilizer produces emission from the soil? So we all know that the use of fertilizer can boost crop yields, but also it releases greenhouse gas emission from the soil. When fertilizer is put on the field, some emissions are released into the air after application. And the microbes, the bacteria, will break down the nutrients, and the plants will absorb the nutrients from the soil. But the excess nutrients can cause emission, and some emissions will run into the water bodies. Approach to sustainable agricultural practice and climate smart innovation in rice farming. The alternate wetting and dry, or AWD, can also be called controlled irrigation or multiple irrigation. By periodically drains the paddy fields to allow the oxygen to enter the soil. This process inhibits methane-producing bacteria and boosts methane-oxidizing bacteria, significantly cutting methane emission by 30 to 70% or more without negatively impacting the rice. This technique can reduce water use in rice cultivation by 15 to 35% or more. This sustainable agriculture practice can reduce the greenhouse gas emission from rice cultivation. Instead of maintaining a constant flood, it can help to mitigate the greenhouse gas emission and also to reduce the water use in rice cultivation. The second approach to sustainable agricultural practice and climate-smart innovation in rice farming is the precision nutrient management, or the 4Rs approach. This technique is very helpful to guide farmers to use the right nutrient source, the right rate, at the right time, and in the right place. This improves nitrogen uptake by crops, leaving less excess nitrogen to convert into greenhouse gas emission. And also precision agriculture technology like digital tools such as GPS guided spreaders, soil sensors, and drone or satellite imagery allow for variable rate application of fertilizers, matching the exact need of specific zones within a field. The sustainable practice on rice farming on improving energy use and reducing post-harvest losses. The first is the AWD, or the alternate wetting and dry, is an efficient irrigation method instead of continuous flooding to save water and pumping energy. The second is solar-powered pumps and dryers, is a sustainable method by using renewable energy like solar-powered irrigation pumps and dryers to avoid improper sun drying that can cause mold or discoloration. And last is the 4Rs in nutrient management, is an approach to efficient fertilizer use by applying only what's needed at the right time to minimize waste production energy and avoid damaging bodies of water. Policies framework in rice cultivation in the Philippines. The first one is the science-based policies in advancing rice communities. This program was created to build a strong science-based and supportive policy environment that will guide the national and local decision on rice-related issues. Second one is a fostering improved rice research environment policy. This aims to generate and provide science-based information and policy recommendation to influence or provide support in crafting sound policies and programs for favorable rice policy environment. The third is building unified rice network through campaign and advocacy. This advocates a campaign, especially in the implementation of the Truthful Labeling Ordinance, a Kadiwa rice as a brand for local produce rice was also soft launched to provide better marketing and income opportunities for local farmers. And last is the Agri-Pinoy Rice Program. It is guided by the principles of Agrikulturang Pilipino, or Agri-Pinoy framework. The National Rice Program integrates government initiatives and intervention for the agriculture sector, namely food security and self-sufficiency, sustainable resource management, and support services from farm to table, and a broad-based local partnerships. These policies help the rice cultivation in the Philippines and being promoted in the whole Philippines.